So it's that time again, folks. 8 years later, it's time for a new Metallica album. Yay! Everyone's thinking, what took them so long? Why did it take 8 years? Why does it always take them so long to make new albums? I mean, in between 2008 and 2016, nothing happened. No, nothing happened. No. I said nothing happened, all right? Nothing happened. All right, that happened. I don't even consider it an actual Metallica album. Did Metallica write it? No. And that's pretty much why Metallica released Beyond Magnetic right after that. It's, in other words, they were saying, oh, no, don't be mad at us, don't be mad at us, don't be mad. Here's some leftover Death Magnetic tracks. Here, you want some of those? Here's some more of what we actually write. Here, have some more of that. After they released Death Magnetic, they had a tour that lasted about 2 years. Then they did a bunch of festival shows. Then they did the Through the Never film. And not to mention, they're also family men that take care of their families, and they have a bunch of stuff in their personal life that they also enjoy and like to do outside Metallica. Now, unlike after the Saint Anger tour, where they took a year off of doing nothing, they actually have been active enough in the world of Metallica between all these years. And they actually started working on this new album since 2011 at the earliest. And then 2014 is when we got our first taste of the new album and what they've been writing in the form of Lord to Summer, which was received pretty well, actually, even by a lot of old fans who didn't like their 90s albums. But numerous interviews did say that Metallica would be experimenting a lot more with this new album than they did on Death Magnetic, so it would be a lot more diverse. Here, we have 2 discs of 6 songs, but when you add all the track lists and numbers together, it's still under 80 minutes. So you can still fit all of the songs onto 1 disc. So why they decided to do 2 discs of material, I'll never know. But when you pre-order the album on iTunes, it doesn't matter. It shows up as 12 songs anyway. So, allow me, Desert Coyote 22, to give you a track-by-track analysis of HardWired to Self-Destruct. Our first song is HardWired. So you all know I actually really like the song. I was actually really excited for it. I could see them using this song as an opener in their upcoming big tour coming up. And I know some people were thinking, oh, it sounds too similar to Death Magnetic. It sounds like a Death Magnetic reject. And some people said it sounds too similar to their old stuff, so it makes them think that Metallica were running out of ideas. And I'm like, okay, I can see where you're coming from, but I still enjoy the song. The next song on this is Atlas Rise. Now, out of the 3 singles that came out before this album, believe it or not, I actually like this song the most out of the first 3 promotional singles. It has kind of a Justice feel and beat, but it also has moments where the guitars harmonize and gives you reminders of Iron Maiden. And I think lyrically that this song is also pretty strong, as it almost has religious undertones with people blaming a higher power for their problems instead of using their higher power to help them fix them. And that's something I relate with. Then your third song is Now That We're Dead. This is where things start to come down a little bit, because Now That We're Dead is a heavy mid-tempo song. It's almost in the vein of The Thing That Should Not Be or Seek and Destroy, minus the fast breakdown in the middle. So there's really nothing much else to say about it other than it's a decent mid-tempo heavy track. Moving on. You have Moth into Flame. I can see Moth into Flame becoming a big fan favorite and a live staple over the years. A lot of people that I talked to about this new album, they say that Moth in the Flame was their favorite of all the promotional singles. To me, it's like a faster version of Ride the Lightning with its thrash breakdowns, which of course I love. It's fun to listen to and it's good to headbang to. And hey, I can't wait to hear them play it. The song on this is Dream No More. If the third track didn't remind you of the Load albums, then this one would. But it's heavy enough to sound like something that was heavy off the Black album, I should say. And it would do well in a live setting because you do feel the crunch of the guitars with every riff that James plays. And then your 6th song to close up disc 1 Halo on Fire is the closest thing to a ballad on this album. There actually are no ballads or any power ballads on this album, believe it or not. It has soft verses, heavy choruses, and it does build up in intensity to the end, but it takes a while before you get to your fast, thrashy closing moments of the song. It's not a bad song by any means. I liked it, but on your first few listens, it doesn't take you to the territory you expect, much like The Day That Never Comes did off Death Magnetic. Lyrically, I think it's pretty strong because it's a song about not being able to escape your past, which is pretty much the central theme of this album, if you haven't figured that out already. So as disc 1 comes to a close, you're thinking, okay, disc 1, it's pretty familiar Metallica. You have your songs that are thrashy, you have your songs that are fast, with a lot of fast riffs and everything. And then you have your heavy songs that are heavy enough to be considered heavy for Metallica. So disc 1 is basically your familiar Metallica territory. That means disc 2 is probably where all the experimental songs are going to be. And some may welcome that, some may say, oh, that's awesome, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to be skeptical and thinking, oh, experimental? I mean, we already did this with Load and Reload and Saint Anger. Come on, we don't want experimental. You have to give them a chance. You have to see what they have to offer in this case. Your first song off the second disc is Confusion. It's a mid-tempo song that actually opens in a manner similar to Am I Evil? And it turned into kind of a groove metal song, believe it or not. And lyrically, it has something to do with PTSD and anti-war. Well, that's something very similar to Metallica, I should say. So it's familiar enough, but you can see the experimentation in it. The next song is Man Unkind. And now I've been told that this is the weakest song on the album, and that it probably doesn't even belong to be considered a Metallica song. I disagree because I say Purify is worse. And I don't hate this song like a lot of other people seem to. It's just very different. It's more in the vein of 2x4 or Bullet Away. So it has that style of a beat. And hey, I'm okay with that. Then you have Here Comes Revenge, which really starts to remind you of the Load album again with mid-tempo galore. But the main riff does keep the song likable. Then you have Am I Savage? Now people are saying, oh, this is a reference to Am I Evil? This is all that. To me, it's another mid-tempo filler song. It's not bad. And I would say the last 2 to 3 minutes of this song actually save it from being a total waste, I should say. Then you have Murder One, which lyrically is a tribute to Lemmy Kilmister off Motorhead, and there's Motorhead references all over the lyrics. However, you would think that a tribute to Motorhead would be something punky or something fast even, and it's not. It's more mid-tempo. So at this rate, you've had 5 mid-tempo songs. You're getting kind of sick of it, wouldn't you think? At least I am in this case after the first few listens of this album. So it kind of makes the song rather forgettable, and you're just thinking, okay, it's only, please just let the second disc end. Come on, let it end. And then Spit to the Bone plays, and holy shit, what a song. This keeps the second disc from becoming almost forgettable. We finally get a thrashy song that closes out the album. And I may say, it's quite possibly the best song they've written since And Justice for All even. It's about as good as All Nightmare Long, I should say, which was the best song of Death Magnetic, which I also said was the best song they've written in decades. It's fun, it gets you moving, it gets you headbanging, and I sure as hell can't wait to hear this song live. This song alone is proof that they still have it in them to write a great thrash anthem that can satisfy the older listeners. Now, going over our analysis of this album, what I've already noticed just from listening to the album is sound-wise, it's excellent. The production is top-notch. It's miles better than what Rick Rubin did for Death Magnetic. I mean, when you go over Metallica's history, they've always had problems with their production. And you have And Justice for All, which was them showing off as musicians, but it sounds just as bad as Kill 'Em All production-wise. I would say the Black Album is their best produced album sound-wise and mixing-wise. Then you had Saint Anger, which was them trying to be really, really aggressive and raw, but god damn it, Lars, turn the snare back on. For a lot of people, it made Saint Anger unlistenable. And then Death Magnetic was them trying to go back to their roots in a sense, but the guitars were so loud in that album, they blare in your ears so much that you can barely hear the drums. So the mix is definitely off in a lot of their albums. In this one, I think the mix is perfect. Almost as good as the Black Album. Whenever you hear the bass drum, you feel the thud. All the guitars have a good crunch to them, like they pack a punch when you listen to them. Lars' drums have a crisp sound to them, especially every snare hit. And I should also say that Hetfield's vocals are the best they've been since the Black Album. There are a lot of moments in this album where he sounds like he did on the Black Album. So whatever he did, my God, please do that for future albums, Hetfield. I know you can't always pull it off live because you blew your voice out in the Black Album. Man, Hetfield can sound awesome when he puts his effort into the vocals. In terms of songwriting, Hardwired to Self-Destruct is almost like they put And Justice for All, the Black Album, and Load into a blender. So there's something here to satisfy all the listeners. There's stuff to satisfy the thrash metal fans. And there's stuff to satisfy the casual, traditional heavy metal fans. And those that prefer a more hard rock style. But out of the 12 songs that we've been presented, in my opinion, I really, 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 really love 4 of them. Which, of course, are Hardwired, Atlas Rise, Moth in the Flame, and Spit Out the Bone. I also really like Dream No More, Halo on Fire, Confusion, and I actually like Man Unkind. But then the other 4 tracks are kind of for me. I think Hardwired to Self-Destruct actually suffers from a lot of mid-tempo filler, unfortunately. Now, I'm sure a lot have heard the phrase grower, not a shower, and I'm not meaning that in that way, perverts. What I mean is that Metallica has albums that really show off their prowess and their musicianship. And I'm talking about their 80s albums, the Black Album, Death Magnetic. And then you have their albums that really have to grow on you to be appreciated. And that's how I felt with Load and Reload. I mean, with Load, my first listen of the entire Load album, I fell asleep. And it took several listens before I finally appreciated the Load and Reload albums, to the point where there's songs off those albums that are my personal favorites. With Hardwired to Self-Destruct, at least half of the album is a grower. A lot of the songs I feel like will just have to grow on me later on, and I'm sure they will. Score-wise, I would give it 8 out of 10. Production-wise, it's perfect. Definitely has its handful of songs that really get you excited and really get you going, yeah, Metallica, yeah! And then the rest of them are like, oh man, okay, I gotta let this grow on me. Damn it. I have also not mentioned the fact that every song on this album is gonna have its own music video. I mean, we've already seen the music videos for the first 3 promotional singles. As of the time of recording this video, the music videos have not all yet been released. And they will not all yet be released until after the album has come out. So, if you want me to review all the music videos of Hardwired, I will do that in a separate video. If you enjoyed this video, please like, please subscribe for more Coyote rants, then and nows, and animations. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Desert Coyote 22. Thanks for watching.